Helldivers 2 is a masterpiece. I have been waiting so long for a game like Helldivers 2 to come out. It's been so long since we've had a game focused specifically on co-op. And I'm not talking like co-op with some competitive elements. No, this is a pure co-op game. The goal of the game is to work together to complete a goal. There is no competitiveness to it. Everything recently has been super competitive. Every game that comes out, you've got your Rainbow Six Siege, your Valorant, your Counter-Strike, your Overwatch, everything. Everything is competitive. The variety of co-op games are extremely lacking right now. And Helldivers 2 comes out and just says, you know what, mate, here you go, have some co-op, and becomes one of the best-selling games of this year. If that doesn't tell you people want more co-op games like Helldivers 2, I don't know what does. The success of Helldivers 2 is actually quite remarkable as well. It's one of those games that you didn't expect to sell as well as it did. It's sold at £30 here in the UK, £36 in the UK. It's not a AAA game. It wasn't really marketed that much, but the community, the gaming community, for whatever reason, just came together and said, you know what, this is going to be the next big thing, and here we are. SWAT. It seems no matter how many missions we do, how many bugs we kill, it feels futile. It's a never-ending war. They took my balls, you know? They captured me and took my balls. And I just want democracy to be established, man. Let's kill some bugs. Everything around it has just been so much fun to experience. Even when you're not playing the game, you hop on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, and everyone's just on there just talking about the next major order, or how many bugs they've killed, or what have they done recently, what weapon have they used, etc. And there's no like toxicity to any of it, apart from like a couple players that complain about you not using a specific weapon. But those people, get the fuck out of here. No one likes them anyway. It's just been so much fun. It feels like an old classic multiplayer experience. But what is Helldivers for anyone that does not know that's watching this video? Thank you very much if you don't know what the game is. I love you. Helldivers 2 is a co-op shooter where you basically kill bugs or robots depending on who you fight, and you got to work together as a team using different customized weapons like your shotguns, your assault rifles, pistols, whatever, and you get these stratagems, which is like super moves, I guess you could say, and you can drop down orbital strikes or eagle runs, or you can get a flamethrower drop down to, or sentry turrets, or even mechs that they've just added in. This game has added more content in a month than most AAA games do in their lifetime. Overwatch 2 is a great example. How long does it take for Overwatch to release a new map or something? It takes a while, doesn't it? Well, it's got to be competitive. It's got to be... Not Helldivers. It doesn't have to be competitive. It's just got to be fun. And that's exactly what they do. They just randomly drop mechs in, and their marketing is actually phenomenal. Their marketing's a masterpiece. They don't even market it, really. They just make a Twitter post and make a joke about a mech or something, or something, and then they just drop it in the game, and the community does the marketing for them. It's fucking genius. I love it. It's a masterpiece of marketing as well. But that is what Helldivers is, essentially. You play as a character, you drop down, you fight for your life, and you will more than likely die. It's basically Starship Troopers, the game, and I love it. I just love it. I love it. It's a masterpiece. Let's talk about it. First off, this game just scratches that itch if you want to roleplay. Role-playing is just... It's impossible not to do in Helldivers 2. Why is that? Well, because the game is built around this idea of patriotism, democracy, liberty, that kind of stuff. It's Starship Troopers. And the fun of it is to roleplay with your friends or your randoms even, because the community is that good you can roleplay. They all roleplay. It's amazing. And you just roleplay, you're saluting all the time, and you're going in, you scream, fucking hell, I'm dying. And when you die, you go, and then you spawn in like, fucking hell, that guy died. Oh my god, what's going on? It's amazing. The fun doesn't even really come from the game itself. It comes from the community, your ability to connect with them and have a bit of a laugh with them and just joke around. Like, if you die, it's not deep. You don't, oh, fuck's sake, I died. God damn it. No, you're like, I died. That was fucking funny, mate. That kind of thing. And it's just a breath of fresh air. It's a breath of fresh air. Then, too, you've got the gameplay. My goodness, wow. The missions are repetitive. I will admit that it's not a flawless game, but who really cares about repetitive missions when you're just having a blast, right? But the missions are repetitive, okay? You drop in, you got like basic missions where you play one mission, that's that, and then you've got like little mini raids where you drop in, you do a mission, then you do another mission, then you do another mission to complete an overall objective on the planet, and you got to liberate these planets. And these planets are constantly being liberated. It's not your own planet. It's everyone's planets. You know what I mean? You're there to liberate, and you work together to liberate specific planets. And the marketing team, as I said, it's phenomenal what they managed to do, because they just make these Twitter posts, let everyone know this planet, if you liberate this planet, this specific planet, you're going to get mechs added into the game. What does everyone do? The fucking whole community comes in and just liberates that specific planet and does it in a couple of hours. In a couple of hours. It's so good. Genius. It's genius. You don't get games like this anymore. Well, I mean, that's idiotic because we just did, but you know what I mean. But the gameplay is super satisfying as well. This is like the perfect Aliens game. You remember Aliens Colonial Marines, that terrible first-person shooter that came out, and it was hyped up, and it just didn't do well. It was terrible. The gameplay was crap. This is what that game should have been. Okay, this is it. You got two different enemy types. You got these alien creatures, which I believe they're called Terminids. I don't care what they're called because they're just enemies of democracy. And then you've got these robot things that I also don't care what they're called because they're enemies of democracy. You get the point, right? The democracy, who cares what the enemies are? Just kill them for democracy, for liberty, for power. Yes. The bugs are really quick. They chase you. There's never a moment where you can breathe. You've got these little mini bugs that are just constantly after you. You've got stalkers that just fly you across the map. You've got chargers that could just go and they just fucking wipe you out instantly. It's amazing. It's so difficult and fun. And then you've got the robot side where they're about ranged weapons. So they do have some melee weapons in there too, but they're mainly ranged weapons. They're going to blast you with lasers if they really want to. Just boom, instant kill. And it's tough. It's tough, but the two enemy types are that different, that varied, that you don't get bored despite the repetitive missions, because you're still doing the same thing over and over again. But each mission just plays out differently, especially when you're playing with randoms, because they act differently, they do things differently, they want to do specific goals differently, you know what I mean? And it works so incredibly well. It works so incredibly well. Now, the gameplay isn't flawless, as I was saying. Like, the gunplay can feel a little bit off at first, because it's got a different kind of aiming system compared to your usual third-person shooter. Like the recoil, you have to move your gun within a specific pattern of the recoil, but you get your markers there so you could see it, but you've got to aim differently. You don't have to aim pinpoint on when there's recoil going on, which is cool. It adds a skill layer to it, but it can feel a bit weird at first. But once you get used to it, bam, it's impossible to miss, mate. I love it. I love it. And it also is a little bit buggy. Yeah, the pun. It's bugs. Yeah, I know. It is a little bit buggy at times, but I don't expect a fully polished game like this, especially when it's not AAA. AAA, you expect the bugs these days, but back, 10 years ago when it was AAA, you didn't expect any bugs, really. Of course, you got some bugs, but you know what I mean. So I'm really not that bothered about it. Plus, it's just fun. It's a funny game. It's fun to play. No one complains or anything like that, and if there is a bug, you just have a laugh about it. It's so good. Now, the future of Helldivers is in good hands, I believe, but there is ways they could fuck it up. They could stop making content, they could fail on their marketing side of things, people might move on to a different game. Dragon's Dogma 2 comes out in the next couple days. That's going to take a lot of the player base, I think. But then, the question is, will they come back to Helldivers? Once the hype is disappeared, once the honeymoon phase is gone. And some would argue we've already passed on from the honeymoon phase, but there's still a ton of people playing, and it's still a ton of fun. So the future, I think, is in very good hands. But these are some of my favourite things to do in Helldivers. 1. Sitting in your ship, just standing in your ship, waiting to deploy. You can go and see the planet that you're about to deploy down to, and you can just sit there with the hug emote like that, with both your arms spread out, and just monologue to yourself. And some people can hear it if you put your voice on the game chat, and they love it. They just stand next to you enjoying democracy, enjoying your propaganda. It really is so much fun. It's like something as simple as that, and being as fun as it is, you've got a gem on your hands. 2, taking down Bile Titans, those big Titan things, the alien creatures you'll see on the screen. Taking them down is so much fun. There's a clip I've got to show you where I basically take one down by myself. I'm running away from the music's blasting, I'm shitting myself, I've got no ammo, I've got ammo, but I don't know what to do, so I drop down a stratagem, and it goes up, and the music is timed so well, it just makes you feel good inside, and that is something that only Helldivers 2 has done for me in a long time. I got my belly feeling going, the butterfly feeling. I was like, oh, this is good.
Calling in orbital strike. Launching orbital strike.
And thirdly, just sitting and listening to the music. The music is really good. I love the music. It's so good. That's all I have to say on the music. It's just really good. Helldivers 2 is an absolute masterpiece, okay? I love it to death. I don't think it's going to go anywhere anytime soon. If it does, I was wrong. I've been wrong about other games. I was wrong about the finals. That disappeared pretty quickly. But I don't think Helldivers 2 is one of those games. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I will still be playing it because I really like it. And the best part is, I'm only like level 12. I've put like 20, 30 hours into it. I'm only level 12. And I love it that much. I haven't had time. I'm busy. But those are just my thoughts on Helldivers 2. Let me know what you think. If you haven't stuck with the Sticky Man yet, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Thank you to everyone that is still supporting the channel despite me not being active for 2 fucking weeks. I know, I get it. I'm coming. I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best. Please, sir. Please. Don't get me angry at me, please. But yeah, thank you all. I really appreciate it. I mean it. I've got another video coming out soon, which is the zombie video. And then I've got another video coming out on Mr. Robot, my favorite show of all time. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah. Stay sticky. Cheerio. I'm going to be under your bed if you don't subscribe. Bye bye.